It is just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Shauna Duty all the way from Fort Worth, Texas. You're in Roanoke, though, right?
I am.
Is that a suburb of Dallas, Fort Worth?
Suburb of Fort Worth, very close to the Texas Motor Speedway.
Right on. I'm glad you said that without mentioning those obnoxious Dallas Cowboys.
Wait a minute.
I only podcast interview Arizona Cardinal fans.
Oh, no.
Shauna Duty has opened 2 marketing companies, both focused on dental websites and online marketing. Prior to opening her businesses, she worked for a well-known dental marketing company in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Currently, she owns and manages iDENTiwrite, where she works directly with clients, employees, and contractors as the lead project manager and editor. Shauna has written over 1,000 dental websites, articles, and blog posts for dentists in the USA, Canada, UK, and Australia. Her expertise in dental marketing has been honed over years of interviewing, studying, and writing about the biggest names, products, technologies, and procedures in the dental field. Her articles on dental marketing and blogging have been published on many websites, including Dental Products Report and Modern Hygienist. She also composed a chapter on reputation management for dentists for the ADA Practical Guide to Internet Marketing. She understands dentistry, healthcare, marketing laws, ADA guidelines, and the minds of patients. So she is uniquely equipped to promote your dental practice. You can reserve a 30-minute marketing consultation at no cost by calling 940-395-5115 and tell her that the Dallas Cowboys are horrible. Or you can email her, Shauna at iDENTiwrite.com. You know, I called you. You didn't call me. This is no advertisement. Because it sounds like if you have a bunch of cut and paste content, Google knows that. They want unique content. Is that true or false?
That is absolutely true. For years, Google has said that. The problem is that not everybody writes. Not everybody has time to write. Dentists who are running their practice and getting their CEs and dealing with patients and all of that, they don't have time to write copy. They thought they finished writing when they got out of dental school, unless they're writing for journals. So we know search engine optimization. We also know dentistry. So we come in and we just fill that gap.
So if first of all, if my homies went to iDENTiwrite.com, iDENTiwrite.com, what are they going to find, and what exactly do you do? What does it cost? Tell us your whole deal. And by the way, I know you're driving to work right now, so I always retweet my guest's last tweet, and she can be found at iDENTiwrite, and I retweeted your last tweet that says, "Dentist, sign up for Google My Business and combine all of your Google properties free." I think that's funny that I just retyped that. I think it's funny how when any dentist sends me an email, I always Google their name because I'm curious, am I talking to someone in Canada, Florida? I like to do that. And over half of them, when Google throws up their name on the side, to say like their name and their address, click here for their website, they're not even active. They haven't even hooked it up. How do they hook up so that on Google you can click the website, all that? How do you do that?
Okay, so Google changes things all the time, and they recently came out with, I know, right? They recently came out with Google My Business. So if you literally Google My Business, then you'll find the link to go in and set up your free account. From there, you want to log in with the Gmail account that you used to set up your YouTube and all of the related properties. If you have like Google AdWords, that's going to be in this panel too. So Google My Business takes Google Plus, AdWords, Google Maps/local, and your Gmail address and puts it all in one dashboard. And from there, you're able to also assign user roles. So this is something that's really awesome for dentists because I've had dentists worry about, my front office person has access to all of my Google accounts, and now I fired her and she's mad. What's she going to do? That's literally happened, right? So now dentists can go in and just take that role right away, and she can't get in anymore. You can also assign like a webmaster to get into your Google accounts for as long as you want them to. So it's pretty cool. It's completely free, and it's very easy to set up.
So take us through your personal journey. How did you end up in dentistry?
Sure. So I was homeschooling my kids, actually. They're grown now. I just had my first grandbaby last Monday, so they're really grown.
My
And
God, you don't even look old enough to be married.
why, thank you. I do appreciate that. Um, so when I was homeschooling my kids, I was copywriting. I've always loved to write. And in that, I found some jobs that had to do with dentistry and cosmetic surgery. And so I kind of learned about it. From there, I built up my writing portfolio and I found an advertisement for a copy director at a website company for dentists. I was hired for that role. I worked there for 4 years, really got to know the industry, and got to know clinical dentistry because I was interviewing dentists every day, writing their websites, training writers to write websites, and learned about all the ADA guidelines and all the things necessary for a true dental copywriter to do well. So worked for them for 4 years, then broke off and started a company with a business partner for 5 years, did basically the same thing. And about 3 years ago, I sold everything and started iDENTiwrite. Primarily because I wanted to focus back on the writing, because Google says that's what's important. That's where my niche is, and that's what I enjoy doing most.
Okay, so dentists are kind of split 50-50 on this. You can earn your SEO by having original content, you writing all that, or hell, you can just say, forget it all, I'll have the worst website in the world, and I'll just buy Google ads, and I'll buy my way to the top. So should they buy first listing, or should they earn it?
Well, here's what I recommend. I recommend in the very beginning when you have a new property, a new URL, it doesn't have any credit on Google whatsoever. At that point, you might want to invest in some Google AdWords to make sure you're at the top. But at the same time, you want to build your website, make it beautiful, make it user-friendly, put original content on there, and it will start to work its way up. So like in our reporting, we have a list of 20 or 30 keywords for each of our clients, and we take a baseline where they rank for those keywords on day one when we start for them, then 30 days later where they're ranking, 30 days later, and then each month we can see which keywords went up, which ones went down, where we need to focus our energies, and for instance, ranking for a secondary city. Like with Google Local, let's say you're in Denver. You're probably going to come up in Denver. You can work for first page in Denver. That's great. But if you want to come up for suburbs of Denver, that's going to be really hard to do. So we can look at those sorts of things and put together strategies to try to get this wider spread than what you're going to get. So back to your main question about paid advertising or organic. Once your organic is page one and you're on page one 2 or 3 times out of the 10 that are listed there, there's no need to do AdWords anymore, particularly if you claimed your Google local listing and you're coming up in the top 3 of the maps. You're right there. There's no need to pay for it. You've done what you need to do. I will say that Google is all about money, right? Just like all businesses are, and that's going to probably change a little bit in the future. I will say that I think reputation management, having as many positive testimonials as you can out there on Yelp, Google+, Facebook, health grades, this is going to be the most important thing for you to do.
So, well, first of all, I see a lot of dentist websites every day because that's a habit of mine. A lot of dentists, their website will be like yours is Shauna at iDENTiwrite. So back in the day, you go back into the late 80s, early 90s, it was all at AOL.com or at gmail.com. But now most dentists that email me, it's their name at their website. So all you got to do is knock off the Shauna at www, and they're on their website. And I'm 54, and to me, it looks like almost everyone bought their website 5 to 10 years ago at a dental convention, and they haven't even seen it yet. And some of these dentists I know intimately, and know they're big implantologists. Hell, I may be podcasting them on implants, but you go to their website, you wouldn't even know that they ever placed an implant. And so what I want to switch is and then when some dentists start writing their own ads or start getting in their website, sometimes I always think it's too bloody and gory and ooey. I mean, there's if I was going to go to a proctologist because I wanted to get my 5-year colonoscopy, I'd want to know about preventing cancer. I certainly wouldn't want to be looking up the back end of 5 different men on the page. I'd want to. So what do consumers want to see on a website? When you write content, like what do they want to hear about? What subjects? And it also ties in to these young dentists who come out of school and they're like, well, what's the best return on investment? Or is everybody wanting to know about, should I learn Invisalign, dental implants, sleep apnea? I mean, there's so many things that you could learn. So what is the consumer looking for? What are they interested in? What do they want to read about?
Oh, I can tell you what they want to see and what they don't want to see. You're right. They don't want to see blood and gore. They don't want to see pictures of metal implants in jaws with no teeth on them. They also don't want to see stock images of dentists that aren't the actual dentist that the website represents. They want to see real pictures of
Man,
real.
that is one ugly dentist. When you use a stock picture, it's like a lot of times I'm talking to a dentist, he'll say, oh, I got a grandkid too. And I'll whip out the picture of my 2 grandkids. And I'll say, where's the picture of your grandkids? And he goes, I don't have one. I go, man, them are some ugly grandkids if you don't even have a picture of them in your wall. How ugly are they? Are they like Cyclops? So yeah, why would a dentist use a stock image?
It's just not smart. It makes you look like a big managed clinic is what it makes you look like. And people want a personal relationship with their dentist, And whenever I interview a dentist, I always ask what sets you apart. And I tell you, 99 times out of 100, they say one-on-one patient care. Personal patient care. We love our patients and we treat them as an individual. So if that's the case, show them yourself on your website. They want to see you. They want to see the hygienist that's going to have her hands in their mouths. They want to see your patients and the testimonials. That's why, I think it's something like 70% of people will believe reviews that they read online. It's
What
because
percent?
it's about 70.
70% of the people believe the reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do the other 30% do? I mean, do they just think they're probably just older people who are jaded, thinking there's a lot of crazy people on earth. I mean, I've never left a review anywhere, but when I go to a dentist website and somebody's writing something crazy, I'm pretty inclined to think that's probably a crazy person. So
Yeah.
so 70% or 2 out of 3 believe the reviews.
Yeah, they do. And that just goes back to that personalization. They want a real human. When they answer the phone, they don't want to hear a machine. They want to hear a receptionist who they're going to see when they go into the office, So I would say one of the most important things is to make your website reflect you, who you are, your vision, your mission, and make that unique. Don't make it some canned something that everybody else uses. Truly think about who you are, where you came from, why you're in dentistry, what you love about it, and create your mission and vision from that. Your website should reflect that mission and vision. And people will see that and they crave that personal touch from their healthcare providers, including dentists.
And and on a personal, what you're just saying is, I think it's the coolest thing is when there's a little YouTube video, you click that and you get to see the real human talking. I think that's the bomb. And sometimes they'll even have one, some people won't have their staff, but other people will put a picture of their staff and put a paragraph about her. I saw one dentist the other day in Las Vegas. He had a YouTube video of each person, the hygienist, the assistant, and I thought the assistant stole the show. She's like, trust me, when you come in here, I'm gonna make sure you're gonna put you at ease and blah blah. So what do you think about YouTube videos in the website?
I think it is phenomenal. People are so scared to do videos of themselves. They don't want to see themselves on screen, but people look at you every day. They see you, you don't see yourself. So it's just a natural extension of that personality that you want to reflect on your website. Now, here's the thing though, visually and emotionally, YouTube videos are great. You embed them on your website, they're housed at YouTube. But for search engine optimization, you want to make sure that your videos have a written script behind them on YouTube. That way, Google will index those videos and they'll come up in search as well. So it all becomes part of your SEO plan.
That is nice. So, yeah, when I saw that Google could do a transcript of your video for like hearing impaired and all that stuff, I knew that it might be for hearing impaired, but it was for search engine optimization.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Google owns YouTube, so they're all connected.
Yeah, and I also think that if you sign in, try to use, you need a Gmail account, like say, I think a Google Plus page. Like a lot of dentists say, well, they don't do Google Plus. I'm like, dude, everybody I know that searches for a dentist does it on Google. I've never seen a human go to Bing or Facebook to search for a dentist. And if they're going to Google to search, and Google owns Google Plus, for all you know, they may have a list of everybody has a Facebook page. You don't have a Google Plus page. They might be helping their Google Plus homies before. I mean, you never know. And there's all these experts lecturing in the back of Holiday Inns and dental conventions that claim they know everything about SEO. And it's like, dude, Bing doesn't know what Google's doing. Yahoo doesn't know what Google's doing. Oh, but the guy at the Holiday Inn knows. Yeah. Microsoft doesn't know, but the guy at the Holiday Inn does. But it just seems like the more you work your site, the more active it is, the more you try. Like I imagine, and I tell some of my friends that, if you haven't done anything to your website in 5 years, why would Google push out a website that's been static and dark for 5 years? How often do you think you should update a blog or content or add something?
Sure. All of my clients blog weekly. We blog for them weekly, I guess, according to an editorial calendar that's based on the keywords that they aren't ranking on page 1 of Google for. So it's very strategic, but we push out that content for them every week. We also publish it to Facebook and Google+. We can incorporate videos from their YouTube into their blog, create pages for those videos on their Google+, on their Facebook account. So everything works together. It's really a good idea every 6 months to a year to update the homepage of your website. I also firmly believe in making your website bigger and bigger and bigger. That means maybe we're adding 2 blogs a month, but also 2 pages a month to those services that you really want to be found for. Let's say you started working with sleep apnea and you're just not coming up. The sleep labs and the physicians are coming up and you're not. So you want to build out a section of your website on sleep apnea. You want blogs to link to those pages of your website, and you want to promote those blogs across various social sites like Facebook and Google+, and even LinkedIn if it's a specialty service that other dentists aren't going to perform. You can get referrals from those colleagues.
So do you actually build the website, or you just manage dentist websites?
We pick up wherever the dentist is. We build WordPress websites. The dentist hosts them in his own account, either on GoDaddy or Bluehost, but we can set up that account and turn over the reins. We don't hold anything.
Okay, but so stop first.
Sure.
You said a technical term, WordPress website. Is that the Microsoft product?
WordPress has 1 million templates. And so what we do is we go in and we pick a template. We build it's basically a content management system, CMS. You'll see like Officide and a lot of these places have templates, right? But they have their own proprietary CMS. So if you want to move your website somewhere else, you can't have it. You can't move those files. Because we build on WordPress, the files belong to you. They're in your own hosting. We can teach you how to use the back end, so we can manage it while you're with us, and we don't have contracts. If you decide you want to do it yourself or you hire someone to do marketing.
Did you hear what she just said? There's a lot of kids listening to this. The 50-year-olds all heard this, but she said there's no contracts. When do you have a contract that your patient signs that they have to come see you every 6 months for the rest of their life? Of course not. Having to have a contract to have a relationship is a red flag, which is why you should never get married. Everything's great, and then she whips out a contract and says, sign here because I don't have any money and you have a shitload of money, and I need to have this in writing. A contract is a huge red flag, and that speaks volumes. Same thing with practice management consultants. Some of them just say, here's my fee, it's a monthly fee, and if you ever think I'm not doing it for you, they'll say, hell, I don't even want to work with you if you don't think I'm doing a good job. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't want to have a contract tied into someone for 2 years who thinks I'm not doing a good job. So that's pretty damn cool. But how much is this? No, it's no contract, but what's the monthly fee? Is it all over the board depending on if you build the WordPress, host it, or they build on a WordPress and they host it?
Not
Or
really. It's just based on how much we're doing for you. If we're only blogging twice a month and we're doing like a web care report and an SEO report, so we can tell you how your website is performing, what the traffic is.
SEO report, and what was the other report?
A web care report.
What is a web care report?
So a web care report is going to tell you the uptime and downtime of your website. It's going to talk about page speed, the traffic that came to your website. It's going to pull a lot of data from Google Analytics and just put it in a very user-friendly format. So that's the one report that we do.
And that's actually very important, because I was reading something that, say you're on Twitter or Facebook and someone posts a link to a story and you click that link. The consumer's only going to give that like 1 or 2 seconds to load, and if it doesn't instantly load, they just back out of it and keep scrolling their file.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Speed is extremely important. And so let's say you have a lot of pictures and videos that come up on your home page. We have to find a way to get that speed down to just a couple seconds. So that's the web care reports. The SEO reports, we actually go into Google incognito mode to kind of pull out all of the local attributes that Google puts on a person. So we go to the Chrome incognito, and from there we do a search for the keyword phrases that the dentist wants to be found for. We log those phrases, where the dentist is coming up, page 1, position 1, page 3. We go down to page 3. If you're not on the first 3 pages, we just say you're not ranking at all. But we really want you on page 1. So then we have a goal from month to month to work towards. And so that's what the SEO report is every month. It shows how you're doing for the keywords that we've been focusing on.
So when you say 2 blogs a month is what you recommend, 1 every 2 weeks?
I recommend 4. 2 is bare bones.
So you recommend a blog once a week, and that's mostly for SEO?
Yes, absolutely. You know, you asked before what's most important on a website, what people want to read. People don't want to read when they go to a website. They don't. They just want their question answered. That's why videos and images are so important. What the words do is they attract Google. Every page becomes a portal for people to enter your website. So if your website has 100 pages instead of 10, that's 100 different pages that are being indexed for various keywords on Google, 100 different portals people can find to enter your website from. The way you get indexed, you have original content, you have a well-optimized website. So people aren't interested in reading that content. They might read the headlines, scan the bullet points, look at the pictures. The point is for them to pick up the phone and call you once they're at the website.
And 95% of the dental office websites I've seen, if you push the phone number on your iPhone, it doesn't even call them.
Yeah.
I mean, these consumers are driving down the highway, and it's hard to drive with one hand while you're smoking a cigarette, trying to dial your dental office. And I mean, it's like they're not even trying. Or yep. Basically, the problem with dentists, they just wear too many hats. They're trying to learn root canals, fillings, crowns, HR, everything. And now you're saying, oh, we got something else you should learn. SEO, website. How much is your services, though?
So $199 and $299 a month. That's 2 blogs and 4 blogs.
So either $200 a month or $400 a month for either 2 blogs or 4 blogs.
200 or 300.
Oh, 200 or 300.
Right. Now we do have.
Technically, you said $199 and $299.
Yes.
Okay, so $199 is for 2 blogs a month. Mm-hmm. $199 is for 2 blogs a month, and $299 is for a blog every week.
Yes. And that includes the 2 reports that we were talking about. And with that SEO report, there's a strategy that we do with that too. So we don't just run the report and hand it to you. We run the report, compare it to last month's rankings, go back to your editorial calendar, make sure that we're blogging on the right topics with the right keywords so that in the next 30 days, we see you move up some more. And you know, a lot of companies run all these reports, and that's great. But if you don't do anything with the data, it's just, there's no point.
Talk to my rural homies. I got a lot of rural friends that say, you only need that stuff in Dallas. You don't need that stuff in Beaumont, Texas. Is that true or false?
Depends on your competition. It depends if you truly are the only dentist around and you have a website or a Facebook page, you're going to come up. That's all there is to it. But once you start having competitors, yes, these are your peers, but they're your competitors in marketing, then you've really got to look at whether you're on page one or not. And if you're not on page one, then yes, you need to work on your search engine optimization. That may mean adding more reviews.
And what should a dentist search? What are patients searching? I mean, are they just saying dentist, Roanoke, Texas? Is that the extent of the search most of the time, or?
No, actually, they'll search for just their city name without the state and the word dentist or the service that they're looking for. Google Local takes care of showing them the dentists that are closest to them. So then the other keywords that are not service, city, or symptom related, those are the three that we really look at. Cities.
Service, city, or symptom?
Yeah, like toothache, broken tooth, chipped tooth, dental stains, those sorts of symptoms. Outside of those, there are phrases that are becoming more popular, like near me. People talk into their phones now, so they'll just say, I need to find a dentist near me that does root canals. So actually ranking for the term near me is a good idea. Dentist near me. The other one is cost of. How much do implants cost? How much do veneers cost? How much does a crown cost? So cost of dental crowns, cost of veneers. That's another keyword phrase that we've really been working on recently.
That is so interesting. And now I've been reading that Google was always excited about, ever since they started their company, the length of the search has been growing about 5% a year. But then when they started with the microphone, now the search is exploding, because now it's one thing to type in, dentist near me or dentist Phoenix 85044. But now that you have that deal and just says, is there a dentist in Ahwatukee around 48th Street in Elliott near the Safeways? You know what I mean? So the search is really going huge. Do you, when you're searching, are you typing with your two thumbs on your iPhone, or are you using the microphone?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I'm typing. I'm a writer. I type everything.
But on your iPhone, do you do that with two thumbs?
It's about 50-50 for me. It's about 50-50. I'm tending, as I become more comfortable with the audio aspect of technology, I'm using it more and more. And so, I think a few years from now, everybody will be using it and we just won't be typing much. And you have things
the
like
audio.
Yeah.
But when you type, do you hold it and type with one thumb, or do you hold it with two hands and type with two thumbs?
One. I type with one.
You hold it like that and just type with one?
I hold it like this, and I type with this.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Jobs and all of his, I think he was the best marketer in the world of himself.
Sure.
But he wouldn't go to the bigger phone because he thought everybody was gonna just do it with the thumb, and he wanted that little 3-inch phone because it was the radius of the thumb.
Yeah.
And the reason he didn't want to go to the big screens is because he thought everybody would do it with that thumb, and I it's my observation that almost nobody does that.
It would be really interesting to see a study on that, because I can think of the men in my life, they use their thumbs, one thumb.
Holding it like that with one thumb?
Yeah.
Huh.
Younger people tend to use two. This is in my own family, just thinking about how people do things. And the middle-aged type men tend to use one thumb.
Huh. But that was a big battle at Apple for a long time, is they wanted to go to the bigger screen, and Jobs was like, no, it was all based on the radius of the thumb, holding it and doing it with one thumb. And how long should those blogs be? I mean, do you have a word? Is that really a word? Is there a word count to it, or?
Yes, there is. I mean, unlike print, there's not a space a space containment that requires a word count. You can go as long as you want, but what happens is most people go too short. So with blogs, we really want to hit 550 word minimum. I read a study the other day that said blogs over 1,200 or 1,400 words tend to be shared more, which was kind of interesting. But you
Blogs
definitely
over how many words are shared more?
1,200 or 1,400.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a long blog.
Yeah, that's my column every month. I mean, I've had to write a monthly column every month since 1994. Howard Speaks, and they always want 1,200 words, and that's a lot of writing.
Yep.
But
That
1,200 blogs get 1,200 word blogs get shared more.
They do. Our service comes with a minimum of 550 words on a blog. Some dentists want more. They want to hit that 750 mark. And this is all based on what Google reads on a page. If Google's only going to ingest and index the first 500 words on a page, there's no need for it to be longer, except for the study that I just mentioned, where if it's longer, it gets shared more, because that's definitely a positive.
So, do you think it is an important exercise when you're looking at your website to look at all the other dental websites in your 5 mile radius?
Absolutely. In fact, just this week, I did 4 competitive analyses for clients. You got to look at your main competitors that come up for those targeted keyword phrases. You have to do that search in Google Incognito so that your own information from Google doesn't skew the results. And you still won't get a perfect result. Everybody's going to get a little different, even in incognito mode. But so you want to do that, and then you want to look at like your top 5. Who's ranking above you or right below you or in the map section above you? And then from there, you want to look at the age of their website. How long has it been up? That's a huge factor. How many reviews they have on Yelp, on Facebook, on Google Plus, on Health Grades. You want to look at their incoming links, where they're coming from, how many backlinks they have coming to their website. You may find out through their incoming links that they have an old website that they're linking their new website from to help improve their rankings. So there's just so much information. And then you can get a clear picture of what you're competing against. Because without that information, you're just spitting in the wind. You have no idea what you're doing. If you have the solid data, you know who you're fighting, who you're competing against, and then you have a real matchup.
And also, I hope you young kids realize that, no one ever had to Google where's McDonald's, where's the IHOP, where's Walmart. So, as it gets so competitive, I can't say enough about location. I still think the best move I ever did in 1987 was bought a little pad of dirt on a 4-lane intersection, 2 4-lane streets in front of a Safeway. I think it cost me, what did it cost me? I think it was $275,000. And everybody thought, man, that's a lot of money. That's just for the dirt. And I'm like, well, dude, I'm 24. I'm going to practice till I'm 74. If I'm going to be here half a flippin' century, it's not that expensive. You look at it that way. And I also told him that when I sold that thing when I retired, I'm pretty damn positive that dirt would be worth a lot more. I think the last time that dirt was appraised, it was appraised at $600,000. But man, there's just nothing that beats having dental office with a commercial sign on a 4-lane busy street, because most of the dentists are in medical dental buildings, and they have zero visibility. I mean, you can go in Manhattan, there'd be 40 dentists in one building. Yeah. So the only link they have to the outside world is they have to get an A+ in everything you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And can I say, you should also take a picture of your dentist office from the street, or if you're in an office building, take a picture of the office building and put that on the contact page of your website so people know what they're looking for.
My son Zach's doing?
What?
His number one hobby is drones. So all my dentist buddies are always say, Zach, come over to my office, and he's got a camera, a video on his drone. Oh, cool. And so he can go up and take an aerial shot or whatever, So
that's cool.
Yeah, and drones are really, really taking off. They're getting really high quality for a very low price. I don't even know what he paid for that drone, but it wasn't that much money. and it's just, I mean, it's amazing video.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
And a testament to what you just said, I selected my chiropractor and acupuncturist because I drive right by his office every day. It went up, and I thought, hey, I want to do acupuncture, and sure enough, that's where I wound up going. He didn't have an optimized website, so I wound up doing his website for him. But location is so important.
That's interesting. You homeschooled your kids, and you like acupuncture. You're an alternative woman. How would you
And
describe yourself?
I am. You remember that show, Dharma and Greg?
No.
No. She was the daughter of a couple of hippies. That's pretty much who I am.
So your mom and dad were pretty much hippies?
Yeah, they kind of still are. They live out in the sticks in Henderson, so.
Nice. So how many kids did you homeschool?
2.
And what was your primary reason to homeschool your kids?
I wanted to make sure that they got enough one-on-one interaction to really get a love of learning, and so that they didn't just fit into the mold of you're a number, you have to learn this and take this test, then we move to the next one. I wanted them to really love learning. My daughter really did a whole lot of reading. We grew a giant garden, and my son enjoyed that. And I really see that they still just enjoy learning things. And the internet is awesome for that.
And what age did you return them back to school?
Middle school. They went back at middle school.
What grade was that?
6th grade.
Okay, so you homeschooled them from preschool to 5th grade.
Yeah, they went to public school for a few years in there. They expressed that they wanted to try it, and so they did, but it wasn't great, so we brought them back home.
I always ask the moms, because we always tell the homeschool moms that they're always looking for lessons and content and all that stuff, and we always have them. If you want to come to the dental office, we'll I'll sit out there in the waiting room over lunch and talk dentistry, or the hygienist. And then since we have a magazine, Sam is so adorable. Just last week, our editor had a homeschool mom with 3 or 4 students in there, and talking about the importance of journalism and writing and what you need to know. But I always ask a lot of these moms why, of course I'm in Phoenix, like why do you homeschool your kids? A lot of them just say there's so much damn drugs and violence. They just, a lot of it's just, it's not what is positive about homeschool. It's like, what are you avoiding at the public schools? So yeah, I actually firmly believe in the bottom of my heart that 90% of all the dentists listening right now haven't even looked at their own website in years. And you knew it was true because you remember when Steve Jobs got into a pissing match with some Flash player from Adobe, and then his version wouldn't play the videos. And for years, you would go to dentist websites on your iPhone, and all those things that were on your desktop and Microsoft would just be a black space.
Yep.
It's like, dude, you're an orthodontist. You're an orthodontist, and all of those are just black squares. And when you saw how many years it took people just to fix that one mistake, and then the other thing now is the mobile size ready, where the website, what's that called, where the website expands and contracts to the size of your screen?
It's a responsive site.
What's it called?
Responsive.
Yeah, and a lot of them don't do that. Yeah. But yeah, so what else are moms? Do you have any data on who's looking on these websites? Is it more moms than dads? Is it 50-50 boy, girl?
Well, women, of course, are the ones who make the decision for their family, their boyfriend, their parents regarding a dentist. More and more, we're seeing men take a little bit more. I think it's we have these commercials about getting a prostate exam and things like that on TV. It's just the awareness is becoming more important. And so I think men are becoming more involved with their healthcare search, but it's still women.
Yeah. And if you were a young dental student walking out of school, and like say, they always complain at school, all they learned how to do was filling, a crown, a root canal. They didn't learn Invisalign, implants, sleep apnea, veneers, blah. What do you think moms are looking for the most on the internet? What do you think would be a good thing to learn that you see a lot of searching for?
To learn, Invisalign is a big one if you're talking about moms looking for their children. If you're talking about moms looking for their parents, then of course implants. It depends on the demographic you want to serve, really. If you want to hit if you want to hit that middle-aged group and a wide selection, then cosmetic dentistry is still, veneers, of course. But I'd say implants on the kid to young adults. I mean, I'd say implants on the geriatric side. I would say Invisalign on the kid to young adult side.
Okay, a lot of dentists, the first thing you say is, I've done a lot of veneers and Invisalign implants, but I never got any pictures. I never got before and after pictures. What do you do when someone says, I want to be your client, but I don't have any photo documentation of my own work?
Yeah. Well, we just don't put up a gallery until they get that documentation. There are some stock images for like teeth whitening or illustration type images for how implants are placed or how a root canal is performed, just showing the inside of the tooth. And those instructional type pictures are fair, but especially for cosmetic dentistry or implants or Invisalign, the cosmetic nature of those services, you really want to have before and after pictures with testimonials, video testimonials if possible. Just do a whole page on, an Invisalign patient that just raves about your service. Let them talk about it.
We've put up some digital photography courses on Dentaltown because it's just so damn important. I mean, you can't walk out of school with $350,000 and not photo document your work. And that's a learning curve. I remember when back in the day when I started in '87, I had these big old flash ring cameras and all that stuff. And I mean, you would have to take, you had to develop it. So you'd have to take 10 pictures, and sometimes all 10 were fuzzy, wrong, lighting. I mean, a lot of times you just have to nail that. And if you can't nail it, you got to make one of your assistants nail it. Somebody in that operatory has to nail digital photography. It's that damn important. And with the and when I was little, only rich people could fly on United and TWA and Eastern and Braniff and Southwest Airlines out of your great state of Texas. Now poor people can fly, and I know so many dentists who have a rocking hot website, and it'll cover like implants and in Kansas City. And patients are coming all the way from Nevada, Missouri, because they don't think that their local dentist in a small town in Nevada knows that, and they're searching, and they see this website, and they see all this great work, and people are flying over 1 or 2 or 3 states on Southwest Airlines on the cheap because they want it done right. Mm-hmm. There's a huge market for, I just want to have it done right. It's not so much the money. I mean, hell, the average car in America is $30,000. So if I'm going to spend $25,000 on an all-on 4-arch, I want to see a lot of pictures. I want to be convinced that this guy knows his stuff, or cosmetics, or beauty. Right. Yeah. So what else should my homies know? But they always hear, they know what search engine optimization is. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I mean, these are all the things you do so that when people are searching for you, they come to your website. But now everybody's throwing around content marketing. Well, what's the difference between content marketing and search engine optimization?
Content marketing is just a form of search engine optimization. There's on page, which means on your website, you will have original content. It will have heading tags and embedded links to related pages on your website. It'll have alt image tags on your photos. That's on page content marketing. Off-page content marketing is going to be when you write articles or blogs and they're posted on third-party sites with links back to your website. And that's extremely beneficial for SEO. So there's kind of two different parts of SEO from a content standpoint.
Okay, I'm seeing this mistake rampant in Asia, Africa, Europe, South America, and it's starting to infect the millennials, where they say, well, I'm not going to do that whole website thing. I'm just going to do Facebook, and they're marketing everything just their Facebook page. What do you think? What would you tell a 25-year-old that says, I'm just going to have a Facebook page? That's where everybody's at.
I would say you're at the mercy of Facebook, is what I would say. If anything happens to Facebook, if they completely change their platform as technology changes, you could be really out of luck. Here's the deal. The dentists who purchase a domain right when they get out of school 10, 20, 30 years from now, when they're ready to retire and sell their practice, that domain name has so much credit with Google if you've put a website on it. The longer a site is live with dental related content on it, the more value it has. I've seen sites that look like they should not be on page 1 of Google, but they were built in 2001, and at that time it was a good website, and maybe these dentists still have good reviews coming in from Yelp and Facebook and Google Plus. Maybe they've acquired a lot of incoming backlinks, and so this site
that's the second or third time you said incoming backlinks. What is an incoming backlink?
So that's going to be a link from another website going to your site. If I post an article on Dental Town and it has a link back to iDENTiwrite.com, that's an incoming backlink. Those are extremely valuable for search engine optimization. You used to be able to buy a bunch of them, these link farms and things like that, but those got blacklisted. So now a lot of those people that invested in that sort of kind of black hat tactic for getting backlinks, they were penalized from Google and their ranking fell off for a time. What you want to do is you want to get good backlinks from high volume websites such as Dental Town or the ADA, or people don't want to list on Invisalign.com if they're an Invisalign provider because they think, well, if somebody sees me there, then there's a million other dentists they could choose in my area as well. But that backlink coming into your website is valuable.
Well, that reminds me of another thing. Everybody should go to, if you're a member of the ADA, you should go to the ADA and fill out the your profile there. The ADA people actually go to the American Dental Association website looking for a dentist, and most of the profiles of members are not paid for. I want to ask another thing about domain name. I don't want to sound racist or this or that, but some of my friends, especially like from India, like their website's their name, and it'll be, their last name will be 14 letters long, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. It's one thing to remember Matt, Mark, and John, and Susie, and Mary, but what do you say to the trend of so many people now their website name, instead of like mine's Today's Dental, others are Comfort Dental, but they're having their name, and it might even be their first name, little, and it's like, like I say, if the name is Joe Blow, you can look at it, you can see John Doe, but if your last name's 14 letters long, is that a good idea?
Not in my opinion. I think you should purchase your own name as a domain name because you don't want your competitor doing it, right? So I think you should have ownership of that, but your domain name needs to be something people will remember. It needs to have to do with your brand. And if your name is that long, that shouldn't be the name of your practice. In the past, the exact match domain name was important for search. This means if you had chicagodentist.com and you were in Chicago, your URL had a lot of value because it had Chicago and dentist in it. That went away maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So now exact match domain is not important. So we don't look at having terms like dentistry or implants or your city in your domain name anymore. You want something that's memorable. Very, very memorable. If you're located next to a park, perhaps your practice name should be named after that park, If you do implants, you might want to have implants in your name, but know that that is not going to help your search at all. Just needs to be memorable, easy to read on a card, easy to type in to Google.
One of my friends, my rule of thumb was that when you say your name, like you go to a restaurant, you say your name. If that maitre d', who all she does all day long is write down names, if she has to ask you how to spell it, that probably shouldn't be your domain name. And that was one of my best buddies ever, was Sina Soraya, and I said, dude, you got to go Dr. Steve. You just got to go Dr. Steve. And he said, Howard, I can repeat my name, I can spell it to Americans 9 times, and they still don't get it. I'm like, okay, well, you can't market that. You can't, if nobody can spell Sina Soraya, then drop it.
We have hurdles with marketing. We don't need to create new ones.
Yeah, and the other thing what I don't like is when people brand themselves. Well, that means imagine you graduate from 8 years of college to mow a lawn, and at graduation they give you a lawnmower. Do you really want to be pushing that lawnmower till you drop dead? Because everybody says, I want Howard Farran to push my lawnmower. I wanted to drive people to today's dental so if I ever got busy or got an associate. Plus, and if I was a young kid and you're looking at say you have two perfect practices to buy, I'd really consider the marketing of each one. I mean, if all things are even in numbers and math and patience and cost and price and all that stuff, I mean, if one had a commercial location, and my rule on location is I don't think you should ever have a dental office if another non-dentist physician law firm business could go in. I mean, if you bought an office and a Starbucks couldn't go there or a sub sandwich or a Mexican restaurant, and the only thing, your location is so horrible that only a physician or a lawyer or an accountant could go there, I think that's a really bad idea. And a lot of people in Manhattan, they argue with me. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're from Phoenix. I mean, that stuff down there on the ground, you could never afford that. And I'm like, all right, well, let's take the elevator down. Come on, buddy. And you take the elevator down. It's like, okay, this shop is selling a bunch of trinkets, and this shop is T-shirts and cigarettes, and this one, it's like you're selling $1,500 implants with $1,500 crowns, and then I'll go. Then a lot of times, if you go into some of those little bagel shops there, and you get intimate with the owner and just say, this guy's 40 stories up, and we're just curious. Like, what does this business do a year in revenue? And they'll say something like, it does about 275. I'm like, dude, your office does 750. So what? Yeah. How come the guy on Manhattan on the bottom floor who's selling a bagel is right there on the sidewalk where the subway lets out? But then the guy doing root canals is on the 4th floor because they think they're saving money in their walnut brain. And when you save money on marketing, you're dead. And I would go first with the greatest commercial location, and then I would do all of this stuff. And I don't think that dentists can do this because this stuff is changing so fast. I mean, how much time, how much continued education and all that do you personally have to take just to stay up on top of all this stuff?
Everything I take is online. And I take courses and read information that I think is going to relate specifically to the dental industry and dental marketing. Marketing retail does nothing for it. Marketing restaurant, that sort of information. Dentistry is just so different than those. It's just not the same type of marketing. So I would say every day I'm reading articles from, the top SEO gurus and search marketing and social media marketing gurus. That's the type of ongoing education. It's day to day. I can't just take a course once a year and stay on top of it because Google rolls out hundreds of changes a year.
So you gave them specific homework. You told them to go to Google My Business. You just type Google My Business in the search bar?
Yeah, just search for that. Google space, MySpace business. And I think it's the second one that comes up is the one you need to click. It'll say claim your listing.
Okay. And then the other one you said was the same thing, but Google Incognito?
Actually, so you go into the Chrome browser and you select incognito mode from the drop down. I know that Explorer has an incognito mode, but it's called something else, and I'm sure Safari does too. You just want to do your search where you're logged out of everything local.
Huh. There's still people using Explorer?
Yes, there are.
Huh. I thought those people, are those the ones with the AOL? It's funny because it's 2017 and I always know a dentist's age when you send me an email and it's AOL.com. Yeah. You can't be my age, 54 or younger. You're older than me by a good 5 or 10. It's so funny. I get a lot of emails from dentists at AOL.com that don't even have a website.
Yeah.
So if you were a young kid, would you want, say your name was your name. I mean, your name's not, Shauna Duty. I mean, does everyone spell Shauna Shauna? Someone put a W in there.
And an OO for duty, yes.
Yeah. So would you, if you were Shauna Duty and you just walked out of school at 25, would you start your dental website name Dr. Shauna Duty DDS.com, or would you go with a DBA doing business as Smile Dentist of Dallas or something?
Right. I would definitely go with the DBA. And the other thing to consider is in that is, you mentioned, 30 years from now, people are going to want to sell their practices, and the website and all of the property that they have online related to that practice name are a valuable part of the purchase price. It goes into that. It gives you more equity.
And you're in Roanoke, Texas. Is that a real small town or is it a good sized town? How many
Oh,
people?
it's not too small. It's not too small. I'm going to guess 30,000.
Okay, so if you had to pick between having an A plus location right next to the Starbucks and the grocery store, or being in a medical dental building with an A plus on a website, what do you think's more value return on investment?
Boy, that's hard. Um, I think I would go with the medical building location, simply because I have seen dentists with shopping strip, good retail type locations, and they don't have money left, or they don't dedicate the money to marketing at all, and they're just floundering. The opposite is definitely true. You have a very outgoing personality. That may not happen to you, but I'm talking about that quiet introvert who is not his own salesperson, who's going to pay for the A plus location, but not have any investment in their marketing.
When you meet these dentists, sometimes you just have to kind of man up and be the responsible adult and suffocate them with a pillow. I mean, they and they, well, you know what the asset I tell, I always say, the ones that are successful, they're always humble. So they listen to their value chain. They listen to the shine lady. They listen to their assistants. When you're young, you should hire older staff than you. I mean, the last thing a 24-year-old idiot out of school needs is a 24-year-old hygienist and a 24-year-old assistant and her sister who's 23 at the front desk. If you're 24, you better hire everyone in there ought to be over 40. And there's a guy in Dental Town today saying, can he post that in the ad that he wants? So it's like, you don't. I wouldn't walk into a legal trap. But when I actually set up my dental office, I was 24, and I hired the oldest hygienist that applied. I think there was like 12, and I hired all the oldest people I could find. And the only one where no old people applied was Jan, my dental assistant. She was the same age as me, but she had been doing dental assisting the whole time I was an undergrad in college. She'd been dental assisting, so she actually was light years ahead of me. But I tell them, not only do I want you to be humble, hungry, and huge intellectual curiosity, tons of continuing education, always watching YouTube, reading nonfiction, reading dental textbooks, but if I could just give you one thing that I'd want the most, it'd be that chairside manner. God dang it, the patients the dentists who have a personality, who can talk to the patients, not be judgmental, not make them feel bad, make eye contact. If you are warm and fuzzy, you're gonna crush it. And if you're not warm and fuzzy, you need to start delegating the treatment plan coordinator to sell the dentistry, the finance coordinator. You better be having the hygienist do all the co-diagnosing during the hour exam, and you just come in there and confirm it. If you don't have a personality, you need to surround yourself with a bunch of extroverts who know how to communicate and talk. I always tell dentists that if I had to pick between 5 people applying for any job, I'll only hire the one that if you taped her mouth shut, she'd fart to death. That's the only. I mean, there's dental offices you go into where consultants have come in there and wrote them scripts on how to answer the phone, how to greet it. Man, if you need a script to greet grandma when she walks through the door, I can't have you. You know what I mean? I need that all natural woman that's like, can you believe Tuesday it's going to be 121 in Phoenix, Arizona? Oh my God. Just that natural communicator.
And
Well, how do my homies, so what if my homies go do their homework and they go Google my business and they don't figure out the drop bar and all that stuff, what's the best way they contact you?
Sure. They can email me at Shauna, SHAUNA, at iDENTiwrite.com. That's IDENTiwrite.com. Or they can call me. I give everybody my cell phone number. It's 940-395-5115. Because dentists are busy during the day. It's usually evenings and weekends when they have time to talk about
And
marketing.
how much is a consultation?
Oh, no fee for consultation.
No fee for a consultation, no contract.
No contract.
My God, I wish that was just a federal law. I wish that was just American law. Just no contracts, no marriage certificates, no lease agreements, just everything back. You know, my dad, it was amazing back then in the day. I mean, he had 9 Sonic drive-ins, and everything done was on a handshake.
Yes.
That was just back in the day, where your
Yeah.
word. Now they talk about reputation management, but it all comes with. There's 1 million attorneys in the United States,
Wow.
and back in Wichita, Kansas, in the '60s, it was all done on a handshake.
Yeah.
Now there's 1 million attorneys. Unbelievable. Well, hey, I contacted you. You didn't contact me. I am a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of your work. I've heard about you on the message boards on Dental Town. By the way, last thing. So on Dental Town, I have that little. There's a 250,000 dentists. They have posted. They're coming up on 5 million posts. Anyway, we have 50 categories, and the categories. What would it be under? Would it be under marketing? Yeah, marketing, forums and marketing, dental websites, building your website, social media. I wish you would post some of your blogs in there, and also when you post, we have a whenever someone posts a blog on Dental Town, if you read it and you like it, we have that share button where you can share it with your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, and I want to thank everyone. We just started that feature a few months ago. And I write a monthly column, and it's on the app, on the magazine. This month's column is Howard Speaks, Drive-Through Dentistry, comparing how crazy and insane how they take your order at a fast food drive-in, but it's equally crazy in a dental office. I mean, everybody makes fun of McDonald's because, you pull up to the stand and it sounds like they're on the moon. They're like, "Can I take your order, please?" And you're like, "Are you on the Apollo mission?" And then when you pull up to the window to pay, they're already on their headset taking an order of the next deal. And it's like, is this really a good idea? And then you go across the street to In-N-Out Burger, and they send a lady out with an iPad, and she walks up to you like a human. She can see everybody in the car. She can hear. It's such a better experience. But when you call a dental office, most of the data is showing anywhere from 25 to 50% of the calls go to voicemail. And if a human does answer the phone, 50% of those calls are, "Can you please hold?"
Wow.
And you're making fun of McDonald's. But anyway, if you read my column, or if Shauna posts a blog or whatever, and you like it, hit the share to Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest. I think the greatest compliment a patient can give is a referral of a friend or loved one. And I think the greatest compliment you can do to all these people writing for free for content on Dental Town or wherever you're reading is on Twitter, it'd be a retweet. On Facebook, it'd be a share. And on Dental Town, share it to your homies. If you think it's good information for your homies, share it. But Shauna, thank you so much on a Saturday morning when you wanted to be sleeping in with a beer and a bratwurst. What are you doing tomorrow for Father's Day?
Oh, let's see. We'll be going to church, and then somebody will come over to see our new grandbaby. We got family coming over to see our new grandbaby.
Nice.
I'm just excited to hold her again. I can't wait.
Father's Day is always so awkward for me because my 4 boys are all taller than me, so none of them look up to me.
That's great.
They just look down on me. But thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with my homie, Shauna. Thank you so much.